Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Paranormal Road Trip, also known as Paranormal Chat with Jenn. Tonight we have fellow investigator Tina Ronan. She's not only a paranormal investigator, she's a Reiki Master. She speaks at various conferences throughout the U.S., and she also makes metaphysical jewelry and steampunk jewelry. She owns 2 businesses, Nature's Earthware and Heirloom Haberdashery. Hi, Tina. Welcome.
Hello.
How you doing?
Doing well. And yourself?
Good, thank you. So you're going to be at KarmaKon this weekend.
I am. This will be my 3rd year coming to the Mattoon area. I know it's not actually in Mattoon this year, but that'll be my 3rd year. So happy to get back there and see everybody.
Oh, somebody beeped. And I do have some just get to know you questions. Some of my listeners are not paranormal, but cryptid researchers.
Mm-hmm.
So most of them that are in the cryptid community don't ghost hunt. So just tell us about yourself and what age did you know the paranormal existed?
I always thought it did. I didn't realize everybody else couldn't see what I did. I am a 3rd generation psychic medium. I have been ghost hunting for over 15 years, almost 16 years now. And besides ghost hunting, I do occasionally run into things above and beyond ghosts. So yeah, I have fun when I'm out there, and I made some new friends, and it's all good.
I've known you for 3 or 4 years, maybe longer. Mm-hmm. I know we've been on several investigations together, and sometimes you kind of creep me out.
I know. I have conversations quietly that nobody else hears. So,
especially at the Rhodes Hotel last winter.
Oh, which one did I creep you out with that?
Not the guy that likes to grab or the guy upstairs that you talk to, but the little thing that was looking around the corner at us.
Oh, that one. Yeah, that one was kind of creepy. I'd never seen that before. Even Karen, who was with us, could see it too, and we couldn't figure out what it was. It was almost kind of troll-like. I don't know, couldn't tell you what it was, but it was like a short man with bigger eyes than a human, and the nose was a little bit bigger than a human's, and good amount of hair on his head, but every once in a while he'd peek out around the corner at us, and that was kind of freaky.
Now, I wonder if anyone else had seen that. Did you ever reach out?
Yes, I did. In fact, the very next weekend, it was actually a cleaning weekend. A lot of my friends had been there. And the Lynches, Jay and Teresa Lynch, were actually there as well. And they had said that they did not come in contact with that. They didn't see anything like that, but that the man who was usually at the top of the steps was there. And I'm trying to remember who else. Oh, one of the ladies was there when they were there. But they said other than that, they didn't see anything. So whether the thing just did not present itself or it just was not seen by them. But yeah, that was different. I'd never seen that before.
I know when I was upstairs, I actually saw Sarah, her silhouette, walk by.
Mm-hmm.
He needs a drink. And sorry. I saw her, and then I was sitting by the door of her room, and there was a black mass behind me, and I jumped up.
Yeah. Well, I've seen that too. One of the times that I was there, they had a piece of equipment that allowed us to be able to kind of speak with the spirits. It's not an SB7 or an SB11. It's the newer one that's out there where you don't hear the white noise in between. I can never remember the name of it. Anyway, we had that there, and 2 gentlemen had come through, and they kept saying that they had to be careful. They had to watch out. They had to be careful what they said because he was listening. We said, who? He is listening. He's watching. He knows what's going on. Over and over again. They kept saying this. We kept saying, who? Who is there? And they finally said a name. I apologize. I can't remember. This has been almost 2 years ago now. And this was at Rhodes. And it was some gentleman's name. And when he did finally speak, it was a very, very deep, kind of menacing type voice. And he was just kind of nasty speaking the rest of the time. So I prior to him coming in is when we saw the black mass last time. So I don't know whether that's what precedes him or not, but that's last time I'd seen it.
Would it have been the preacher? Do you think it was?
I don't know. I really don't know. I have never had contact with the preacher. The only person who really talks to me on a regular basis when I'm there is the gentleman at the top of the steps. And I've always perceived that he was kind of like a bouncer. He was somebody who was, I would not say special needs, but I would say definitely somebody who was not as on the same level as everybody else. He seemed to struggle with a few things, but he knew women. He knew who needed to be there and who did not need to be there. So, and I've seen him stand at the top of the steps when men would come up the steps to investigate and literally stand in front of the steps as though he's going to block them. Not that he's able to any longer, but that seems, and every single one of the men who walked through him, they all did like that shiver on their shoulders or down their back. So they felt something, whether they realized it or not, that he was standing there.
Now, do you remember when we were sitting at the table and Clarissa and Barry came down were upstairs and they came down? Do you think that the bouncer was the one that pushed him into the wall when he was coming down the stairs?
More than likely, because he does not like men up there that haven't paid.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
Now I've seen men go up there and he's had no problem with them, but they've always been respectful to the spirits there. They've always said please and thank you, as if they've paid, but they've paid out of the respect that they've given. So it would not surprise me. He's a big guy, the bouncer at the top of the steps. I don't have a name. I just call him sir, and I'll hang out and stand up there and talk with him, and he just tells me things.
I know they did not. He had that camera sitting facing the stairway. Mm-hmm. His camera, Barry's was. He didn't get a thing on that night.
Very few people ever do. Sometimes you'll get a stray orb, but then again, it's so hard with it being an older place to say that it's not dust, you know. And you've got the hot water heat that's in there, so you can't say it couldn't be a water droplet. I mean, if I see a orb on a video acting really strange, all right, I'll give it a second look. But normally, if it's an orb, I'm one of the first people to dismiss them. So
I am too. It really has to be prominent for me to say yes.
Yeah.
And that's one of my pet peeves of the paranormal. You could have 3 dust bunnies floating around and somebody would say it and they would see a face in it, or they would have different colors. And I know water droplets will produce a variety of colors too.
Of course. Yeah. Yeah. And if you blow up anything in a picture, you're going to find faces or things that you want to see because the mind automatically does that. And you get some matrixing going on. That's all it is.
I agree with you. So can you tell us what the defining moment that you knew the paranormal existed? You definitely said, I know this is real.
Probably way back in 2001. I had, as a child, all the way up to the beginning of my teenage years, was able to see things, talk to things, and the family was just, shh, don't talk about it. Don't talk about it. As a teenager, I just kind of pushed everything to the back, didn't want to hear it, see it, pretended like it wasn't there. Getting married, having my children when my children were very young. And I guess I was downstairs doing laundry, and actually, I apologize. It was 1999. As I was coming up the steps, out of the blue, I hear somebody saying, hey, really loud in my ear. And I would have just dismissed it as another noise, but I heard it and I felt the air literally on my neck, in my ear, and my hair moved. And there was nobody else there. My kids were outside. So it was just me. So yeah, I think that's then when I said, okay, I can't ignore it anymore. It's really there. And that's when I had sought out the same group, both of us that had been with for a while, and learned some more and gained a teacher and just went forward from there.
And it's all history.
Yeah, very much.
Xander's waving hello.
Hey, Xander.
I got to meet him. You met the others.
Well, last time I saw him, he was a baby.
Yeah,
he's very tiny.
Not so much anymore. He's wanting to play with the computer. Can you tell us what the most prominent experience you've ever had is? I know you're always having experiences, and I'm just waiting for you to say there's somebody walking behind me.
No.
If you do, that's fine, because we know there's stuff. I heard a man in here in the kitchen this morning talking, so I'm good.
Defining, or I'd have to say the one that sticks with me the most was actually a private investigation. Of course, I'm not going to say who or where, but we were actually filming, and this is probably the third or fourth place we were at. And when we were filming, at first, everything was good. We were able to identify some of the spirits that were there and what was going on. Towards the end of the evening, we had all gone down to a basement. There was probably about 5 or 6 of us and the people behind the camera. And we were down there and we were doing a huge EVP. And as we were doing the EVP, instantly, as the lights went off or started doing the EVP, I felt pain. I had pain in my side. It was so bad, but you couldn't see me because it was pitch black. There was absolutely no light. The only person who could see was the person with the camera, because they were, had night vision. And I got such terrible pain. I'm practically bent over with pain because it feels like somebody's reaching through me from the back and just tearing at my insides. At the same time, I'm bending over. I'm not saying anything. 3 other people, and the 2 of them were women, went to the floor in pain. They felt the same thing. Another one was a gentleman. He was able to keep it at bay, but it was a total fight. And the 2 women, one was carried up the steps and out the house. The other one was able to get up the steps, but had to have help. And she continued to vomit on the front lawn. They had to actually take her for help. At that time, I'm going, guys, I'm going to pass out. And they have the lights on by now. They can see I'm holding my stomach, my side. And they had to stop rolling cameras. They stopped everything. Took me upstairs. I did my blood sugar, and it was down to 57. So they literally stripped all the blood sugar out. And I literally felt as though I was losing something. And when I used my sight, I could literally see that I had a tear in my aura, and I was literally leaking from my aura. Went to a friend the next day, and she was able to give me something to help me to not so much repair the leak in my aura, but to repair it on the outside enough to give me time to repair it from the inside. So it was pretty scary. It's the first time I'd ever been physically harmed in an investigation. And it was probably about 3, 4, maybe almost 5 months before we were able to get back together again and start shooting. But it was, a lot of the stuff that I went through and a lot of stuff that everybody else had gone through. I spoke to someone within the Catholic Church and explained what happened. And I said, what do you think? And she said, I have a list, and you just hit 9 out of the 10 things that I look for demonic. So that was one of the few times that I'd ever had something that I would say was actually not spirit, but demonic. So it is extremely rare. Only 2 times in 16 some years did I have something that I felt was not spirit, or not just a pissed off spirit, but actually something demonic. So
that's scary.
It was really scary.
That's scary.
I mean, it literally felt like somebody was behind me reaching. In fact, when I grabbed my body, I felt like I could feel fingers under my skin tearing at my insides. So, yep. It was, yeah. So for those people who say, oh, there's nothing like that out there, that's because you have never dealt with it. Once you have dealt with something like that, you know, and you're able to tell the difference from there on, whether it's spirit or demonic. You just know. You just know.
You know Missy, that
yes,
I used to investigate with.
Yes.
She said that she was at the cemetery. I had said, hey, let's go to the cemetery when I was still in Fort Wayne. And she said she would never step foot on that property again because it felt like something had reached inside her and tried to pull her spine out.
Yeah.
She said it just felt like it just grabbed a hold of it and tried to pull it out.
Yeah. I know there are things out there above and beyond demonic and spirit that it could also have been. It's a defining moment to the point where you will know from there on for the rest of your life whether or not it's spirit. You just know. So that was my defining moment.
Yeah, I'll be honest, that's scary. That's some scary shit.
Yes, it is.
Yeah. And, you know, we've been getting more requests and people say, oh, I believe it's demonic. And I think a lot of the TV shows, how they're leaning more towards the negative now. And it's becoming more prominent. People are thinking, oh, if it knocks anything over or it touches me, it's the negative. But it's not always. You can tell. And that's why I tell people, don't go from 0 to 10 and forget about the numbers in between.
Yeah. It is really, really rare for it to be demonic or something else.
And that's what I tell people as well.
Yeah, it really is. Let's face it, there are some really big jerks, and I don't know. Can we swear on this show?
I just said shit, so yeah.
Okay, yeah.
You can even drop the F-bomb if you need to.
No, there's just some really big assholes out there. And you know what? If you're a jerk in life, you're a jerk in death. And however they were in life, that's how they're going to be in death. Until they finally cross over and ascend, that's the way they are. So if you've got people in there that are getting scratched or getting hurt, don't right away think it's demonic. It could just be a nasty piece. You know, it happens.
My computer wouldn't unmute. I told you I'm having all kinds of issues today. I agree. And that's what I tell people too. I'm like, and when we have new people come on the team or we do an investigation with the public, I tell them to treat and talk to these spirits the way they would speak to them when they were alive.
Exactly.
Because they're the same when they cross as they were when they're alive. And I was on a private investigation and this guy said, I demand, and it was a private home. And he said, I demand that you answer me. And he kept saying that. And I got to the point where I got pissed off. And I told him, I said, you don't ever demand again. I said, if they picked that K2 up and threw it at you, I wouldn't blame them one bit.
Yeah. Don't push them. Treat them as though they were live people right in front of you. They are still people. They just don't have a physical body any longer.
Exactly. Can you hold on a second? I got to yell for Ariana. Thank you. Yeah, he's in all kinds of stuff over here. Ariana's supposed to be helping me. So more fun question for you. We've
Certainly.
talked about the really bad stuff, so let's go to something fun. Where is your most favorite place you've investigated?
Waverly.
Really?
Waverly Hills, yes. Of all the times I've been there, each time, I think the first time there were only 10 people with us, and the second time there were only 8. So it was awesome because there was no contamination. I mean, we knew where each other were, and we were floors between each other. So we got really, really good stuff. Really enjoyed myself. It's one of the few times I physically have seen a full-on spirit walk by. We saw a nurse in older garb with like the white up her arm, because like, you know, they would put the white sleeves up to cover their clothing. The white hat, the whole 9 yards, and she had the longer dress on, and Karen and I were on an outside patio, but we could look into the patient rooms because they had outside patient rooms that had patios outside, and then they also had the inside patient rooms. As you got worse, you went inside. Well, we were outside, and we literally could see this woman walking by. And I'm like, do you see that? She goes, uh-huh. Of course, neither one of us think to pick up our camera. You know, we just, watch her walk by. Well, she had her SB7 going, and we're like, we just saw somebody walk by, a nurse walk by, a woman. Who is that? And we heard, Elizabeth. It's Elizabeth. Run, hide, Elizabeth. We're like, whoa. And that was all in the SB7. And that was just awesome. So that was a good one. I really enjoyed that. I've seen a lot of things there. I've come in contact and seen Big Black. That's a little scary, but not bad. I mean, it's just kind of like the thing at Rhodes, but 10 times bigger.
Yeah.
And they also have a wall walker or a creeper that's there.
Yeah.
I've come in contact with that on several occasions. So yeah, there are things there.
I can see Karen saying, uh-huh.
Yeah.
I can just hear her and see her agreeing.
And that's it. No other emotion, just uh-huh.
You're like, yep.
That's why I like to go hunt with her. She's my rock. She is the most grounded person I know. And I don't care what comes up to me or what comes at me. If it's something that I'm struggling to handle, she steps between us and it's gone. It's like she grounds them and they can't move and they leave. So
yeah,
love hunting with Karen.
I've heard you say that a few times.
Yes.
I was distracted for a second.
That's okay.
She's in a mood tonight. But you were talking about the creeper at Waverly. I had Mike Flickner on my last time I was on. Come here, buddy. And he had been a guide at Waverly. Have you met Mike? He's with Southern Indiana. Yeah.
He was a guide at Waverly. The last time we were there, he was one of the guides.
And he was telling me that the creeper one time, he hates snakes, and it tried to scare him, and it came in at him like a big black snake.
Yeah.
I said, that would have been it.
Yeah.
I would have quit and left.
Yeah, he was unable to pull up the picture, but he told us about 2 months prior to us being there, there was a group that wanted their whole picture taken, but within Waverly, not like in the spot where they all go and have like snacks and stuff. Yeah. And he followed them in and took the picture. And when they put it on the computer, they looked here. The creeper was literally right above the group, hanging upside down, mouth open, full of teeth. And it was right by a woman. I'm like, well, show me the picture. He goes, and he tried, but he couldn't get it to pull up. So
that is so funny. Stop, Xander. I don't know. I don't know what I would have done. I've really been like, God, why didn't I see it when I was there?
Yeah.
We did not get to see it. Stop. We didn't get to see it. We did have a good group when we were there. That's where we met Barry and Savannah at.
Okay.
Is Waverly, Clarissa, and I did. And we were very lucky with the group we got. And we had them and 3 other ladies that were together and a couple. Okay. And the couple did their own thing. And we stuck together and investigated together. And you've investigated with them. And, you know, it was just like a private investigation. No one else bothered us. And it was a good night. And we got some evidence, had some experiences.
Oh, yeah.
And we'd really like to go back.
Oh,
I do too. We'd like to really go back on a private investigation where we can go wherever we want instead of just, you have to go here and then you switch levels and you go to the next one. So maybe we can all go together one day.
Yep, we'll have to look into that. And anything under 10 people is good with me. I don't like the big groups.
That's the maximum I'll take on a private. If it's just the team.
Yeah.
And I usually don't. You know, I'm usually like, hey, do you and Karen want to go?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So if you could go anywhere in the world, where is your dream investigation?
Oh, Lord. I was thinking about that. And I don't know. I mean, like I said, Waverly was always at the top of the list, and I've been there twice. So I really don't know. I guess probably in England or probably somewhere over there. Just think that would be a really cool place to go. I don't know of any place specific, but probably somewhere over in England or Ireland, one or the other.
Do you remember Dawn and Tina that went to the Rhodes Hotel with us?
Kinda.
They were sitting at the end of the table. Tina had red hair. Dawn was blonde.
Okay, yeah.
They just did a trip to Ireland. I'm not sure if they got to investigate anywhere or not.
That would be cool, though.
Yeah. Yeah, it would be. I know I would like to go to Chernobyl. So
I think about that, but I don't know. I'll wait another 100 years till it's definitely safer to go, you know.
Or we can go visit in spirit.
Well, there you go.
When we pass, we can
there you go.
And I know we talked about the demonic seems to be the new rage on the shows, and people are thinking about it. What do you think about the shows going that way instead of good old, let's just show you what we do, like it originally started out as?
Yeah. One thing I tell a lot of people, especially when I hear people starting to bash the people who are on TV, and I'll have to admit, I rarely, if ever, watch any of the ghost shows. I just don't. But I will say, meeting a lot of these people, because I'm out on the circuit, because I go out and I speak, so I have met quite a few of them. I will have to tell you this, you know, originally they were all really, really good ghost hunters, or they wouldn't have been picked up by Hollywood to begin with. So keep that in mind instead of just constantly bashing them. Be in their shoes for a second and think about it, where you're a good investigator, you're out, they're filming, but they want this, or they think you're not going to get the ratings if you don't do that. After a while, you do what you can to keep the paycheck coming in. And that's sad, but they've sold out. But keep in mind, at one time, they were actually really good investigators. So do I think some of the stuff is hokey? Hell yeah, I do. And that's why I don't watch the shows. But, you know, you have to make that decision if you are going to be the person who gets picked up by Hollywood to do those things. Where's your line? Where is it going to be drawn? And are you going to continue to do things the way you've always done and possibly be dropped from the show because you don't have the ratings that the people who are willing to use fishing string are? So you have to find where your line is.
I know who you were talking about.
I only have a problem with one of them, and I will just stay away from him, and we'll just stay away from each other, and we'll just leave it at that.
I agree. I've asked other people what they think about that. And I've also said myself, would you rather watch, people like to be scared. Would you rather watch us do an investigation where we sit there for hours and don't get evidence? Or would you rather watch somebody being attacked and be like, oh my God, that's really out there in the world?
Yeah.
and you would be scared.
Yeah.
Now, if you would really go on an investigation, it's not what it's like on TV. They only show the action stuff on TV. And people also have to understand that 9 times out of 10, you'll sit there for hours and won't get anything.
Yeah.
But when you do get that piece of evidence, it's the most exciting thing in the world.
All right. What people don't realize and know, I've been to places where, like, I think it was Ghost Adventures had been there the week prior, and they still had like a lot of their X's on the floor. They had left floor plans and stuff stuck up on the wall and stuff where they were going to do stuff. So it was kind of neat to see that. But the owner of the facility came right out and said, you do realize that when those guys get here, they're here 2, maybe 3 days to film, but their film crew got here 3 weeks ago to get their 5 minutes of evidence. 3 weeks of filming as much as they can so that when the show comes on, they kind of recreate it if they have to and put the evidence in. So for people who are out there going, oh, well, you're not real ghost hunters because you're not getting everything. You're not getting anything every time you go out. Yeah, well, they film for 3 freaking weeks ahead of time. We go out and we put the time in. And at one time they did too, but Hollywood. Again, you got to find out where your line is, where you're willing to stay the good ghost hunter or sell out.
And I meant to tell you earlier, I saw something zooming around in your little craft room there.
Yeah, that would not surprise me whatsoever.
Yeah. It was really bright and went pew. And I was was that an orb or was it a fly?
I don't know.
Because
it could be just a bug. It could be just a bug, but they do like to come down here and bug me. There's 2 places they're allowed to come, and that's here in the craft room when I'm working, or they're allowed to they go up into the kitchens from time to time, but they're not. From there on, they're just not allowed in, and I set parameters and say, this is it, guys. You can't come any further. That's my bedroom, and you're not disturbing my sleep. I'm still alive. I need to sleep.
I might have to have you come over to my house because last week, the week before, Ariana swore she saw an old man with a scar like right here on his face, and she flipped out. And right before that, Xander kept saying, there's a monster. There's a mean old man. He's a monster. So I may have to have you come over and
I already told you
a little more than I
already told you who the one is. So that younger man.
Oh, yeah.
Sees.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I've saged and salted and somehow, well, it was when it was raining and I told Ariana, I said, well, rain and water conduct.
Yeah.
And she was being mean. I said, your meanness is drawing negativity in too. I said, if you were being good, this wouldn't happen. And my mom does not believe in ghost hunting. She tells me I'm full of shit all the time. But yet she sees stuff. She told Ariana, she goes, he was there because you were being mean and not listening. And I was I was just like, wait a minute. I just told her the same thing, but in a different way.
Yeah. Yeah, my mom liked to pretend that she couldn't see either, but I knew she could because whenever I would see something, I would turn my head quick and she would too. And sometimes before I even looked, and then she would kind of put her head down and walk away and pretend like it wasn't there. So I knew, but it just wasn't for her. It wasn't what she wanted. So
my mom she'll tell me, she goes like, I know something's bad's going to happen. She goes, I see these black things on the floor wiggling around that looks like snakes. And then when I still lived in Fort Wayne, I think Ariana was little. My mom called me out of nowhere, scared me to death at like 10:30 at night. I thought something was wrong. She's like, I just saw something in the living room. And she had her entertainment center against a wall. And to the left of it, she had a recliner. And she's like, I saw something by the entertainment center. It was the size of a raccoon. I said, did you get a cat in the house or something? She's like, no. She goes, it got up on the armrest of the recliner and was looking at her. Like its paws were like this, looking at her. And she said when it walked away, that the hair on its back stood up like a cat that got scared. And when I Googled it, It was a spirit animal, and that has been seen a lot. And she only saw it that one night. But she doesn't believe. But she,
yeah, I know.
But she called me. And
Yeah.
she's been saying lately, she called me the other day and she took a nap and she's like, "Is Xander okay?" I said, "Yeah, why?" And she's like, "Well, I just woke up from a nap and he was here laughing and woke me up." And she's seen people walk up her walk and it's like they're coming to the door and nobody's been there, but she doesn't believe.
Yeah.
She's just in denial.
That's all right.
Now, can you tell us about KarmaKon that you're going to be at this weekend? I know Becky's working and couldn't join us tonight.
I'll tell you what I know. Not a lot. I don't know a whole lot about what's going on other than it's going to be very similar to a lot of the Paracons that have been in Mattoon before. It's not quite as big as some of the ones she's had, but she is going to have different speakers there. I think pretty much almost every hour to hour and a half, there's somebody new speaking. There's going to be lots of different vendors there. I will be running 2 different classes. I will be speaking in the morning. I will be doing my crystal gridding class, and that's a kind of a very basic beginner class. I'm just going to teach you how to use crystals to set a pattern, to set your intent to have that happen, as well as taking the crystals and putting them within a grid or a pattern within your home to protect or to do any type of intent that you want. The crystals can be set in a certain way where they kind of use the energy bouncing off of one another to push that energy above out and make your intent happen. So it is just a very, very basic beginning class that I'll be teaching, and that'll be in the morning. And then I believe I'm the last one of the evening, and then I will be doing my Intuition 101 class. That's one I do for a lot of the Paracons, is Intuition 101, and that is a basic class for teaching people how to relax, drop down into the zone, and access their own natural gifts where they will be able to feel what's out there. So that's really it.
I've next time you're around here and you give that intuition class, I'd like to come to it and bring Ariana with me.
I know
she's old enough.
14 and over is what I suggest, only because I want children to be able to understand some of the concepts that I speak about and teach you how to use. It will be happening. I will be doing Intuition 101 at Arts and Craft in Hartford, Michigan. I believe that one is in, let me see here. I believe that is either July or August.
Okay.
And then it'll be 102 will be in September. I know that Witchwood wants to have me come back and do Intuition 101 again with them. And then again, I will have some more Intuition 102 classes. I do have crystal gridding class at Witchwood that is next month. That one is a paying class. That one's $25. You will get your basic class. I will teach you how to grid. You will leave with a grid as well as a bag of stones so you can continue doing this at your own home. So
I may need to come do that.
Yeah. There's going to be a great class this weekend, but I can't be there at Witchwood because I'm going to be over at KarmaKon hanging out with all my friends in Mattoon. They're going to be doing a free energy class at Witchwood in Elkhart, Indiana, and that is at 4:00. And it's over on Bower Street in Elkhart. And the person who's running it is Miss Shana, and she is a fantastic speaker. She's also one of my Reiki students. And she asked me, since I'm doing this energy class, if I would make specialty jewelry for that. So I did over 35 pieces of jewelry that specifically is for enhancing energy, intuition, and psychic abilities. And those will actually be on sale at Witchwood at 3:00, 1 hour before the energy class. So
I actually talked to her today. I didn't know she was one of your students.
She is. She's one of my masters.
I'll have to let her know I know you.
Yeah. And Becky, who is running KarmaKon, is also one of my students. She will actually be a master by the end of this month.
That's what she told me the other day. I thought she had just finished when she was here, when she was staying in Napanee.
Oh.
She's like, nope, April 28th. I was like, okay.
Yep.
I won't tell anybody that I messed up. Let them think that.
That's all right.
And I know she has her own site. I'm going to promote her a little bit while we were talking about KarmaKon.
Please do.
I know I don't want to torture the name. It's Zitania. Is that right? Zitania Services.
Yes.
I know you can find them on Facebook. And I was just scrolling through there, looking through her stuff, and I had all these questions I wanted to ask her about it. She offers intuitive life coaching, crystal energy healing, Reiki healing, coming April 28th.
Yeah.
Chakra balancing, and she offers online psychic tarot readings. And I don't know, do you know if she does those in person as well?
She does, but you have to set appointments.
Okay. Give me a second. Xander is getting his drink in his mouth and spitting it everywhere. Oh. He's being gross. He's being a boy.
He's being a boy, yeah.
Yes. Sit over there. You're being nasty. And I noticed she also does event planning, and she consults on events as well.
She does. So she does great events. I have always had such a great time at every one of her events. I mean, there just never seems to be a lag. There's just, from the time the doors open till the end of the day, things just go and go and go. And she usually has really great speakers, and there's just always something going on. So she's a great event planner.
And that's actually how I met her, is through you.
Yeah.
When I was trying to have that conference at the State Theater a couple of years ago. Yeah. And you said, here, talk to her, and I'll introduce you guys. And from there, we got to know one another.
Yeah. She is. She's really good at what she does.
She seems like she's really nice. And
she's one of those people that just goes and goes and goes and goes and goes and goes. She doesn't stop. She just gets it done.
Like you.
Maybe that's why we're friends.
I know you have a very, very, very busy schedule coming up. Because I was looking at it, I was like, are you ever home?
No. Literally from, usually mid-March through mid-November, almost every single weekend I am gone to somewhere. I'm doing Paracons, I'm speaking, I'm lecturing, I'm running classes here. I'm running classes in Michigan. I run classes in Pennsylvania. I also, have my two businesses where I make the metaphysical jewelry. I also make steampunk jewelry and apparel. So I just go and go. I'll sleep when I'm dead. Sleep is overrated.
I know. I'm like, hey, do you want to go to this? You're like, nope. I'm out of town that weekend. Yep. Like this weekend, I had said, hey, do you and Karen want to go to Ohio to that investigation? And you're like, I've been there. It's really good, but I'm going to be out of town.
Yep. I am. There's just people say, do you want to do stuff? I'm like, you people need to contact me in December or January and set things up, because by the end of February, my schedule is booked for the year.
I believe it.
Yeah. So I go everywhere. I'm literally, the only place I'm not really yet is the West Coast, but Midwest, East Coast, South, I'm all over the place.
Yeah, I noticed that. I hear about you going to Pennsylvania. I know last year you were at Mid-South. You'll be at Mid-South again this year.
I will. Yes, I will be at Mid-South. I'll also be at Haunted Bourbon Con. I'm going to be at SelmaCon, which is in Norristown, Pennsylvania. I'm just literally everywhere. I'm going to be doing one up near the UP this year. Oh, God, I cannot even remember the name of that one. I'll have to look that one up. But, yeah, I just go and go and go.
Is it the one in Sault Ste. Marie?
No, I'm not doing that one. It's a different one. Oh, Haunted Heights Paracon.
Oh, I've never heard of that one.
Yeah. Jackie and Tina, the original Pair Sisters, will be there. they talked to me about it, and they're going to be doing that one. So we'll be up there with them. In fact, that's the only one I'm going to. Oh, that one and Haunted Bourbon Con are the only ones I'm going to be doing with them this year. But yeah, I talked to Rachel and Christopher Booth. I'm only going to get to do one with them this year, Mid-South. Other than that, possibly they might be at Ash Bash, but I'll be at Ash Bash. So back towards Becky's area again. And that one's in September. So go and go and go.
I know Rachel and Christopher Booth are going to be at the Randolph County Asylum. They're having...
I saw that, yes.
Yeah. I know they're going to be there as well.
I think I'm booked somewhere else this year.
It wouldn't surprise me.
I'm just looking at my calendar here on my phone going, wow. And, I also got hooked up with Gypsy Soul Vintage Market. They're like a traveling boho chic market. And they love my steampunk stuff. So I know she wants me to be more, but I'm only doing 2 of those this year. But I'll be doing more of those. So go and go.
I know I had asked Karen if she was going to go to Mid-South with you on the 28th of July. And she's like, I don't think I am. I said, well, you can come hang out with me at the Michiana Paranormal Fair then.
There you go.
I checked. Yeah. I said, I wanted to make sure she wasn't going before. I said, hey, you want to come hang out?
Yeah. Sometimes Karen will come with me, but in fact, that's the only one I think my husband's not doing this year. Usually he comes and helps me. I am such a big vendor. I need help. Plus, if I go out to speak, someone's got to stay at the table. So he does. That's the only one. I think my daughter, I'm going to pick her up in Terre Haute because she's down there at college. And we're going to go hang out with Keith Age that weekend and have some fun. So.
I know. I like that she's doing really well at school.
She just contacted me about 2 hours ago and said, Mom, I just got another scholarship for next year. At this point, she's gotten so many scholarships because of her grades. She has not paid dime one for school. In fact, at this point, she's going to leave school money in hand.
Wow. She needs to mentor Ariana.
But you know what? She started in 10th grade looking for scholarships. So by the time she was old enough and ready to go to college, she had letters ready to go. She just threw stamps on them and sent them out. And she got scholarship. And then her grades were fantastic. So, but I also got some other great news that you don't even know about yet. I got it like 5 minutes before the show started.
Uh-oh. What is it?
My son just asked his girlfriend to marry him. And she said yes. So my son's getting married, so I'm excited. I get to tell everybody now.
That's awesome. And you told it on my show. Oh, thank you. Now I can promise Tina's big event. Tina's big surprise, something like that.
Oh, Lord. Well, one of the things you did ask me, you've asked me before, Black-eyed children. Well, you know what? Black-eyed children, I've never seen one. I've heard stories, but I've never had any contact. But for all of your cryptid lovers out there, and it's kind of spiritual, kind of cryptid, so they might like this one, is something that I have come in contact a couple times now is elementals. And they are unique individuals. The very first one I'd ever seen was up in Michigan, and we were actually at a graveyard, and it was on Native American land. We did know that. And I kept seeing something moving out of the corner of my eye. It was the beginning of dusk, but the sun had just gone down, so it was still pretty well lit out. And I kept looking at the bushes over in the corner where, there were no graves there. It was the edge of the graveyard. And I'm looking and I keep seeing something move. So I finally go ready to part the bushes. And as I go to part the bushes, there are eyes. There are eyes. And do you know what I'm talking about when I say the green man? The man that looks like he's made out of leaves and branches and stuff. Okay.
Yeah.
Because that's kind of what it looks like.
That's what I saw. Yeah. Do you like my hand gestures? I get all excited.
Yeah. I just hand gesturing on the radio. Woo! Yeah.
Well, I know you, so we talk, and I'm like, yeah, So
You just don't tie her hands behind her back; she'll stutter.
right, I probably would. I'd probably trip and fall too. But that's the first thing I saw was this thing that looked like a tree. Yes, I know exactly what you're talking about.
So that was the very first one. And I'll tell you, once you've seen one, once you've experienced it, and if you can feel energy in any way, and you feel that energy, you will know it for the rest of your life. No matter where you go, you'll know it. It's completely different than anything else. And one of the ones that was the most unique and the most fun that I'd ever had was in Gettysburg, which I could be at this weekend, but I decided to do KarmaKon instead because I really wanted to go see everybody in Mattoon, all my friends in Mattoon, and I love Becky, so I had to be there for her. Anyway, in Gettysburg at the Dave Stewart farm, they have an elemental there. I did not know that. I don't think a lot of people do, but as you are driving down the driveway to go into the Dave Stewart farm in Gettysburg, as I went over the bridge, I felt that tingle, the tingle, or that knowledge, that knowing that there's an elemental. Sure enough, when I parked my car and kind of looked towards the stream, it was very big, the energy, feeling that energy from an elemental. And I knew it. And I told three other people who I felt could probably feel it as well. And they started to walk towards it, and they all could feel it. They all knew what it was. So I ran back because I wanted to pay homage. I wanted to pay respect. I had a brand new bottle of Patron, just a little one, that we had taken to party at Gettysburg at the end of the night. And I walked over there. Four of us walked over. Only three of us went all the way. One lady backed away because she was unsure of everything. And we paid homage. We said, thank you. Thank you for allowing us to be here. We just wanted to let you know that we acknowledge you and we wanted to give you a gift. So I cracked open the Patron and gave her the first drink. The minute that Patron hit that water, a burst of energy came over the three of us there. I mean, we all felt it. We all kind of like went back, like the Matrix, not all the way like he did, but it was almost like being blown back. It was just unbelievable, the energy. And all three of us experienced that. And we really felt that she was saying thank you for the gift. Well, as we were there at the farm and we had done some investigating, we had stopped to have dinner. Up and out of the blue, it was myself and Kat Clucko. We could see her. She literally came up out of the water. It literally looked like a person made out of water. She looked like she might have had clothes on because there was like a long train or long bit of water behind her. And she just walked past, not directly past us, but out of the stream and up and over. And she kind of dissolved down into the pond, which was spring fed from that river or that little stream there. So it was the most unique thing I had ever seen. And I will never forget it for the rest of my life.
That's amazing. That would be something to see.
It was.
That's amazing.
So yeah,
you gave me goosebumps.
So not just ghost hunting. We do other stuff. Karen and I have seen some cryptids, and someday you'll have to have me back on, and I'll tell you about a real special one back up in Michigan.
Oh Jesus, it's a dog man.
Oh no, better than that.
I'm looking forward to investigating here in Goshen at that one spot that we talked about. Well, actually, 3 of them. You told me about 2 up by you and then the one here in Goshen. So
yeah,
I'm kind of curious what's out there.
Yeah,
because I know what's out here by me. I can hear it growl and tap on my roof. So fun times.
Yeah.
As long as I don't get ate, I guess I'm good.
Just don't leave any milk out for it, because then it will never go away.
Right. Don't leave any dead things out.
Yeah.
No tobacco. Tobacco will attract them.
No.
But one day I'll discuss everything I've seen outside of Goshen. Inside Goshen.
One of these days, I'm just going to have to sit down and finish writing that book. I write down what happens when we go and investigate or go to these different places. I write it all down. I'm like, the book's half done. I really just need to put it together.
You should.
Someday. All these different times I've been on the radio and continue to be on, I always have, all the things that I've done, and I have it ready to go, and it's in a notebook. I'm like, if I just added a few paragraphs here and there, I'd probably have the book done. But I'm never home to finish it.
So I was going to say, you're never home.
But and then in winter,
when you are home, you're still making stuff to sell online that people order, and then there's holidays and.
Oh God, yes.
And now a wedding to plan.
So, yeah.
So I have some more personal questions for you.
Okay.
About the things you do. So we talked about you go and you travel around and speak at conferences. For people who don't know you, like I said, I've known you for a while, and I know you go to events. We run into each other. Every time I go, it seems like you're there. And that's not a bad thing.
No.
It's just like, oh, what a coincidence. I run into Jackie and Tina a lot too.
Yeah.
So how long have you been speaking at events? I know you talked about you do the Intuition 101. You're going to do the crystal grids.
Mm-hmm.
Are you going to discuss anything else at the conferences this year?
Not anything else at the conferences this year. A lot of the ones I'm doing are new ones this year. Excuse me. Most of the ones want the Intuition 101. And if I've done that, usually they want something different for next year. Or now this year, a lot of the ones that I've done before, they're just not happening this year. There's not as many in the Midwest as there used to be. So I'm having to travel further and farther. From time to time, if I do speak and it's not about intuition or the crystals, sometimes I'll just do like a true ghost story type thing for like an hour and tell them some of the different things that I've come across, some of the things we've done, like the Hartford City Jail that we did that time. That was pretty wild.
That was an interesting night.
That was. So different things like that. Like I said, there's just not as many in the Midwest this year as there usually is. So newer ones. So I'm doing a lot of the Intuition 101. But if they need a filler or something, they usually come grab somebody. And sometimes I'm the one they grab and say, okay, this guy backed out, or this guy's plane didn't land and he's somewhere else. Can you talk for 45 minutes? Sure, I can talk for hours if you want. Yeah.
Yeah, I know. I find it interesting. And I know a lot of people don't do it and talk about their experiences and where they've investigated at conferences. I think that would be interesting to actually just sit down and say, hey, this is where we've been.
Mm-hmm.
This is a history behind the place. This is what we found.
Right. And I do see that a lot at the bigger Paracons. You will see that.
Becky! Surprise! I told her, I said, join us for a few minutes.
Yay! Becky's with us.
Welcome, Becky.
Thank you.
I said, please join us for a few minutes. She's like, I'm home.
Yay!
Finally.
It was a long day for you, wasn't it? So I was just talking to Tina about what she talks about at conferences and things.
Awesome. Yeah, I'm done. Let Becky talk about about KarmaKon, because I really didn't have a lot to say because I don't know everything.
Yeah. So go ahead. Talk about KarmaKon. Tell us all about it.
Okay. Let's see. I am like totally not prepared now. It's basically an all-day, all-night kind of psychic, metaphysical fair. I can't even talk. We've got speakers from 10 o'clock until almost 9 o'clock at night.
Oh, wow.
On different things. Of course, I'm sure Tina's already told you she's doing Intuition 101 and crystal grids. Mm-hmm. We've got somebody doing an introduction to tarot. We've got Coyote Chris Sutton is coming down, and he's doing a drumming circle with different like shaman chants and songs and that sort of thing.
That sounds really interesting.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that one. Let's see, what else is there? There is a belly dance class and demonstration. So that'll be
Williams will
fun.
be there.
I don't think I'll be belly dancing, but
yes, Scott Williams will be there. He's doing the law of attraction, taking control of your reality.
Yes, and Scott does everything for free.
Yeah.
His energy readings and his healings and everything are no charge.
Oh, wow.
So
there's one. I didn't even see this one earlier. Michelle, is it Bergeron?
yes, from Wicked Treasures.
Yes, she's doing very basic roles and etiquette when dealing with the Fae. That's a good one.
Yeah, and she'll have all of her awesome stuff there. That's all the fairies or all the like fairy crowns and all kinds of really cool things.
Nice.
She was at SilCon last year.
Okay.
So you have repeat people who have been at SilCon as well. So some of the people, I know Tina was at SilCon.
Yes. Let's see. Who all is repeating? Of course, Scotty can't make it now, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Hello, Tim.
But
came to get the puppy who decided to join us.
Oh, but yeah, Tina is coming back, and then let's see, Sage Stafford, Simply Sage. She'll be there. She was at SilCon. Let's see who else was. I can't remember if I believe Dawn and Mark Boris did readings at SilCon. They'll be there. And there's several people from this area that I haven't even heard of and haven't met. So I'm really looking forward to that.
Nice.
Because as we put it out and started advertising it, it was just kind of amazed me that there were so many people that were in the area I didn't even know.
And that's the same thing I'm finding when I'm searching for the fair that I'm having in July.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't realize there were so many people out there that did Reiki in Goshen and Elkhart.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I was like, wow.
Yeah. There's several. There's a couple though that are doing the Reiki are actually doing a little bit different. They're doing. Oops, I just died. I'm playing a game at the same time. I'm sorry. And I just killed myself. They are doing. I'm going to mess this up because I've never really heard of it until I mentioned it. La Hochi, something.
That's a new one for me. I think I know what you're talking about, but I don't know how to say it either. Yeah.
Yeah, but there's two of them that's doing it. The one guy and then his actual Reiki Master will be there as well.
Nice.
Hopefully, I seen where she was. Oh, I died again. I seen where she was sick, so hopefully she's feeling better by this weekend.
Good.
So there's a few different ones that I've never heard of and not had any experience with, so I'm looking forward to it.
Good, new people to meet.
Yep. And the Girl Scouts are coming out and providing lunch.
Are they bringing cookies?
Probably, yes. They have a ton of them left over, so I'm sure they'll have cookies for sale. They're doing it's like a soup, salad, and vegetable dinner or lunch. So it's they have different soups. They've got chili. They've got a vegan vegetable, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
And then they've got like different sandwiches, like cucumber sandwich and then ham and turkey. And I can't remember. They told me what all they got.
Well, that's cool.
Yeah, so they'll be there from 10:30 to 3:30. And they're raising money for their trip to Disney World. So, and it's actually the same Girl Scout troop that was at SilCon. They was in charge of the kids area.
Oh, okay, from last year, yeah.
Yeah, it's Heather and her group. So
nice.
Hi, buddy. My little one's back with Pluto.
Well, you saw my little one there for a second. It's all of a little white furry blur. So
yeah.
And then there was Tim.
I didn't have my camera plugged in. Normally I do, but apparently I do not right now.
That's okay.
I usually live stream the video games, so I usually have it plugged in. But
I kind of promoted Zitania Services for you.
Sweet.
Yes.
Thank you.
But I will allow you to tell us about what you do and what made you decide to start offering those services. I couldn't answer that question.
I typed it all up. I was going to send it to you, but I do a little bit of everything. I do crystal energy healing, Reiki healing, obviously. Hopefully, we'll be teaching after the end of this month. And, I do a little bit of everything. I do genealogy and family history research and, life coaching, intuitive life coaching. I do different readings. Sometimes I'll do oracle, sometimes I'll do tarot, or usually it's more mediumship readings, but I'm just kind of using the cards for some guidance. It's usually all my intuition, though. I don't read too much into the cards. And I know when you had sent me that email, you asked if I do them in person. I do sometimes. Yeah, I'm getting better at that.
Now, I'm curious, and this is my own personal question here. Mm-hmm. What is intuitive life coaching?
A life coach is basically just kind of that third-party person that can help you kind of give you that outside input, give you guidance to like get more organized or reduce stress or, just whatever goal you have, help you achieve it. It's just kind of like having that outside person to kind of push you along the way.
When are you available? You said stress and
anytime
organization.
Yeah, anytime. Yep, I'm always here. But yeah, so I mean, the intuitive part basically is I use a lot of my guides, my intuition, that sort of thing to kind of help lead me to ask the right questions to be able to help somebody. To help ask the right questions to get the answers that I need from them. Hopefully that makes sense.
Oh yeah. Especially the part where you say you have the cards, but you don't really use them. They're really, after a while, if you're somebody who does this enough, you realize you don't need the pendulum, you don't need the cards. Mm-hmm. They're just tips and tricks to help you when you're first starting out, and they relax the client because they think that you're going to get a better answer if you have the cards in front of you.
Right.
They're really not what you need any longer.
Yeah, no, and I usually when I do them online, I usually will send between 5 and 7 pages of stuff back to people. Mm-hmm. And most of the time it's all me. And then if I'm unsure of something or I have a little bit of a question,
right,
like where's this going? What does this mean? I may pull a card for it and kind of see if that helps any. But for the most part, it's all me. It's more, and honestly, that it's a self-esteem thing that keeps me from doing it one-on-one a lot of times. But I'm getting better at that. Scotty has yelled at me enough that I'm getting better at that.
What people don't know is that Becky and I are one of Scotty's girls. Scotty Rourke and Terry Rourke have started the Psychics Unite group, and she runs a chapter out of her area, and I run a chapter out of my area. And Psychics Unite is a group that is helping to unite those with gifts to let them know that, if they need help, we're here. If you have somebody, like I travel, so does Scotty. We travel, we meet people all the time that are looking for help with their gifts or their children who have gifts. They need somebody who can train them or work with them. They're just lost and they don't know what to do. But I can't help somebody in North Carolina if I live in Indiana. So our goal is to have a local chapter in every state or in every area that we know of, so that when the time comes, if there's somebody who needs help, we can say, well, now we're not available, but here, let me connect you with the local person from this chapter.
Right.
So,
and they're popping up everywhere now.
They are.
Like every day he's at a new group.
I'm seeing that they're just starting to get everywhere, which is nice because we want to go nationwide.
Yeah.
It's nice being able to get together with people who have abilities and understand when you're talking about something that you've run into or things that you are getting into and you struggle with something. They understand because they've either gone through it or they know what you're talking about. So it's just fun to hang out and talk with people who truly understand.
And have you noticed as well, the more you get into this, the more the people that you gravitate and rotate towards is a psychic or they're in the paranormal field?
I think it's the other way around. I think they're coming to us. It's their people are waking up. People are awakening and they're realizing that they have gifts or their children have gifts and they don't know what to do with them and they don't know how to handle them and they don't know how everything that's going on with them. They need help. So they're going to, oh, my friend of a friend, they do something or they have abilities. So maybe you can help them. And that's how it ends up being all the time. More and more people are seeking us out because they're looking for answers.
Definitely. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I think it's just people are getting more willing to talk about it.
Yeah.
And
it's
so
no longer taboo as it had been.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think that's the same when you think about paranormal and demonic cases and that sort of thing. I think you're hearing more about those for two reasons. One, because obviously TV shows and the like are making it seem like a fun thing to do.
Right.
But then also you're getting people that are more willing to come out and say, hey, I think I may have something at my house, because it's not as frowned upon as it used to be.
Right.
So they're more willing to ask for help, but you definitely get more of the crazies as well.
Agreed.
I agree with that one. I had one when I lived in Fort Wayne. I had a guy. He would, we won't go into that, but
like we've all had those or a couple.
I had someone email me a month or two ago, and she had told me that when she lived in Texas, that she had something demonic in her house. And when she moved to California, it went with her. And now she's in Indiana. And I cannot understand for the life of me. She had a team come in and investigate why they did not do something about it. They just let her go. I mean, if you're going to do this and help people, if that's your goal, you need to help them and not just let them live with it.
Well, I think so many teams nowadays are like, oh, this is all cool, this is fun. Then they come up to something that may be real and they're like, oh, I don't know what to do. And they bail.
Yep.
They don't know. We had a team locally that was like that. Every other day it was a demonic case. Every other day. And I'm like, one of these days you guys are going to walk into something that's really going to be bad and you're not going to know what the hell to do. And it's going to be dangerous.
Oh, yeah.
Well, when I was
the same team that posted somebody's address on Facebook, that's where they were going to investigate that night.
Oh, nice.
Really?
Yeah. It was somebody's home address. Yeah.
I just don't have words for that. You don't do that.
Oh, I had words for it. They weren't nice words, but they got words for it.
I bet they did. I heard a few too. When I lived in Fort Wayne, I know I keep referring to that because I've only lived up here a little over a year. But I met a girl and she told me where she lived at. And she had a team come to her house that is no longer in existence in Fort Wayne. After I met them and interviewed, they soon dispersed. And it's not who you're thinking of, Tina.
Oh, damn close.
Okay. But let me count the letters.
No, that's okay.
No, it's the same amount of letters, though. But she said that you could still see it on the house. She moved out of the house and they toyed with the spirit and they knew it was demonic. And one of their former members went on his own and was telling me about this. And this is why he quit the team. It's because they kept toying with this thing and wouldn't get rid of it or pass it to somebody who could get rid of it. And she told me, she said, I am really pissed. And she told me who it was. I said, you're the one I heard about. And on the outside of their house, she said it's still there. They had painted a cross on the outside of the house. Yes. I don't remember if she said it was with blessed oils or not. And then this same team, right after I started BSR, no, it was right after I started BSR, they dispersed a couple months after. This lady had asked us to come, and 2 former members went because Caden came down to stay with me that weekend, so I couldn't investigate this house. I told this lady, I said, if we come investigate, I ask that you do not ask anyone else to come in, and I ask that you do not consult with anyone else. Because I feel if you ask us, we should be the only ones you work with. So we have all the information. You don't get 2 different stories. You don't get mixed signals. So we went in and investigated. Well, she contacted the one lady from this other team that's no longer in existence. And she gets a hold of me and says, it's worse here. She goes, it's worse. She goes, I sprinkled holy water everywhere. I said, who told you to sprinkle holy water? She said she got a hold of, we'll call her Amanda from this team. And she told her to bless her own water and sprinkle it. Instead of going to a church and getting holy water, she told her to bless her own water and sprinkle it everywhere. And she did that, and things got worse. That's the end of my story for that one. I just, if you're going to do this, you need to, if you can't handle it, send it to somebody else that can. It's just terrible.
Yes, definitely.
Ooh, my friend just messaged me.
Yeah, and unfortunately, you see that more and more now, where people that don't know what they're doing is just doing it for the fun of it.
Right. Well, because they're experts. They watch all the ghost shows.
Right? Obviously, they're not, because I watch the ghost shows and they drive me insane.
I don't watch them. I can't. It's just.
No, I try, but it's like when I try, it's like, oh my God, these people are stupid. And I have to turn it off.
Yeah, I can't do it.
Nope. My friend just messaged me and said she turned the corner when she got home. And there was a black shadow standing at her door of a man waiting to get in. She said she had a super bad feeling. She said he was wanting her, waiting to get in.
Wow. Time to salt.
That's why I told her, I said, salt and tell him to go away. And she said she drove off.
Well, that's a good option. I can't blame her for that.
So she drove away. I'm like, what? Well, I'm talking to you two. This happens.
Oh, goodness.
I'm going to tell. Give me just 1 second. You also, Becky,
Yes.
also consult on events and help plan them?
I do.
Is it any kind of events or just conferences?
Any kind, really. I'm willing to add my input on anything. This last Halloween, I helped Jamie and I went out, and there's a local farm that was starting a haunted hayride and kind of a fall event, and they had us come out and kind of walk through with them and give them different ideas and, just different tips on things they could do and how maybe to run things. And that was a lot of fun. And, I'm willing to, try just about anything. I mean, I've put a paranormal convention in the middle of a mall. I'm daring. I'll try anything once.
She's asking where to put the salt. I told her across the doorways and the windows.
I do the corners of the room. I do the corners of the room, the 4 corners outside, start inside, work out.
Okay, I'll tell her that.
I do prayers when I do my salt.
Okay. She said.
And you got to keep in mind, if it's truly not something evil, they can. I mean, if it's just a really bad spirit, they can still cross the salt.
Oh.
Yes.
I didn't think about that.
They can still cross the salt. It's to keep out evil, but if it's just a nasty piece of a spirit, they can still cross the salt.
Yeah.
Then sage, be very, emphatic with your words that you cannot be here. You are not welcome. This is my home. You have to leave. You need to go, and now.
That's what I tell them too. And
Yep.
like when I told you Ariana saw the man with the scar, I told her, I said, tell him to leave you alone. She's like, I'm so scared. I can't. I said, you've done it before. You have to tell him and be forceful and mean it. And she was crying. I said, you realize he's using your fear. He's feeding off of it, right? And she finally screamed it. She's like, leave me alone and get away. So, and I got the sage out that night, and I saged the room, and I salted, and she said he finally left. Yeah. But he was standing outside the bedroom after I saged it and was looking in. Yeah, I'd never seen her that scared. Okay, I told her she needs to do prayers and start from the insidemost and go outward. I'm still typing.
Scared friends take priority.
Yeah. She wants to know what she should do if he's still there when she gets back.
Tell him to leave. Just go in her door and treat him as though he is an errant child that's not listening. Reprimand, not nastily, and say, you need to leave. You're not supposed to be here. You're not welcome. You need to go.
That's what I'm telling her.
Yep, it's her house.
That's right.
Take control of it, just like if it was your neighbor standing there trying to get in.
Yeah,
you don't belong here. Get out of here.
So bad for her. She hasn't seen anything like this in quite a while. And her son had seen, have you heard of the rake?
A what?
A rake. A rake. It's a cryptid. It's
not the ones with the bird heads.
These are big, white, long, hairless things.
Oh.
Not seen that one.
You have to Google that one. Her son saw one of those one night. And where she lives was Indian grounds in Fort Wayne. So, but yeah, she brought home, she investigated with me one night, and she took home a little girl, and she had to make her leave. So that's another thing. We can bring stuff with us too, can't we?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. That happens from time to time. Even though you tell them that they have to stay, they can't come with you.
Yeah.
Driving, and all of a sudden you're at a traffic light where there's a lot more light in your back seat, and you're not alone anymore.
Speaking of that kind of, I got an oil change today, and they ended up having to keep my car, which is beside the point. But I got this loaner car, and I noticed that when I stop, it beeps at me, and it says on this little screen, check your rear seat.
Oh God.
And I'm like, really? Is that in case somebody's back there? Is that in case I'm forgetting my kid in the back? I'm like, what is this message for?
Oh. Yeah.
Like, this is pretty bad that you have to tell me to check my back seat before I get out of the car.
Yeah. That's as bad as Alexa in my house. From time to time, she will, answer out of the blue, and nobody said anything to her. It isn't like the TV's on, so she'll just answer. And when I go to my app on my phone, I'll get things like it repeats, or it types in what has been said to Alexa, so you know what was questioned. And I'll get things like help me, where am I? Oh, no. Well, crap! Somebody's getting Alexa's attention,
right?
Oh, that's creepy funny.
Well,
It's kind of
has
scary, but
hers
it's
gotten
kind of
that
funny.
creepy laugh yet?
Yeah.
Oh, that Alexa laugh is horrible. Oh my gosh, I can't imagine.
Laugh. I'll have to ask her to laugh later.
Oh, I don't know if they fixed it yet or not, but they were talking about like people were legitimately getting scared of her laugh because it was so weird. But,
well, we have had, they say that Alexa from time to time will turn on by herself in the middle of the night while you're sleeping and listens. I've woken up in the middle of the night and I have seen her lit up, and I'll ask her, what is she doing? I can't help you right now. I'm like, well, why are you on?
my phone would do that. Like I can sit here and I can yell, "Hey Siri," 100 times.
Yeah.
It will not do anything. Like it totally ignores that. And then all of a sudden, nothing will be going on. And then all of a sudden it'll be like, "How may I help you?" And I'm like, why are you even on?
Yeah.
Like, I can sit here and yell, "Hey Siri" 1,000 times and it won't kick on.
Right.
Like it's right next to me. And every time I say, "Hey Siri," it's never once kicked on.
Yeah. Crazy. Spirit world using the current technology.
Right? Well, that's okay. Let's teach them how to text. It'll make things so much easier.
Wouldn't it?
You don't even have to go there. You can just investigate from home. Be like, send me a text message. What are you doing right now?
Right. How's the weather over there?
Right. Don't make me come over there.
Exactly.
You better get out of that house. Don't make me come over there to you.
Yeah. Oh, there goes Alexa now. She beeped. Yep.
Oh, I see her lit up back there.
Yep.
She's like, "Oh, wait, did you say my name?"
Alexa.
Sorry, your Echo Dot lost its connection.
Oh, she lost her connection, so she won't laugh for me now.
Okay, that's really creepy that you were talking about it and it lit up.
Oh, yeah.
Well,
That's par for the course at my house.
and I'm still seeing things zip around your head.
Well, I keep getting somebody tapping me over here, and I keep saying stop. So if you listen to this show later and you hear me very quietly going, stop, or you see me doing this, somebody keeps tapping me back here, and I'm ignoring them.
Like, excuse me, I'm here.
Yeah.
Right?
Is it my turn to talk?
I just want to tell her hi.
Alexa, you back? Yep.
Hello. I'm
Yep.
very happy you're here.
Yep. She's back. Hey, Alexa, laugh for me.
Sure, I can go.
Did it tell hee hee?
Yeah.
I thought.
That's all right. I'll have to tell whoever's here, go talk to Alexa. There you go.
And then she'll answer.
She'll probably answer. Yeah.
Oh, goodness.
Well, ladies, I think I'm going to get this one in the bed.
Okay.
The other one's starting to get crabby. I'm tired. I need to go to sleep. So,
I feel the pain.
Yeah. I'm ready too. I have to finish packing everything yet tonight so I can head off to KarmaKon tomorrow.
Yay.
well, have a safe trip.
Yes. Thank you.
Lots of money.
Oh, I'm there to go see all my friends in the Mattoon area. I got lots of friends there.
Well,
We're
still make some money. That's
anxious
always a
waiting.
plus.
It's a lot less stressful the day before than SilCon is, that's for sure.
Good.
Is it? That's good.
Yeah. I like this size event. It's a lot less headache, and
Good.
not having a $15,000 budget makes it a lot easier.
Oh, yeah.
Wow. Wow. On that note, wow.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for coming on.
No problem.
And you guys will have to come on again. Becky, when you have time, let me know and you can come back on and talk about all your stuff. And Tina, you have to come back and discuss your cryptid in Michigan.
Oh, God, yeah.
Was Karen with you with that one?
For several of them, yeah.
Well, she'll have to come too. And everybody can see her go, uh-huh.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Sounds like I need to come up there with you guys for a while.
Oh, yeah. You know, Indiana's got some nice things, but Michigan's got all the weird crap.
They do, don't they?
They do.
Sounds like I need to go on a road trip with you guys.
Yes, you do. You do.
Well, you know, I only live maybe 20 minutes from the Michigan line from where I'm at compared to you.
5 minutes. 5 minutes.
Yeah, I'm about 15 minutes further. I just go through Middlebury and I'm there. But I think we have our cryptids around here travel between here and Michigan. Oops, you got to see his lovely diaper. He flashed everybody. I think it travels between here and there. And we have around here, we have Dogman and Sasquatch. And I think a few things in between.
Stop, Mommy.
Yeah. Well, he's getting tired.
Yep.
So,
All right.
Thanks
Well,
for coming on.
Yep.
Thank
I'll
you.
see you guys. Becky, I'll see you in about 12 hours.
Yep.
Maybe a little bit more, but in and around there.
Yep. I'll see you in within a day anyway.
Within a day, yeah. I'll be in the area within 12 hours.
All right. Well, you just have to let me know when you can hear me. We can do dinner or something.
Yep. All right. We'll see you guys later.
Okay.
All right.
Bye.
Thanks. Have a good night.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.